Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Rave Green TV. And this is going to be your preview for the Austin FC versus our beloved Seattle Sounders. But we're switching up the preview this time around. We're actually going to be collaborating with We Are Austin TV. I'm here with Hernan. We Are Austin TV versus Rave Green TV. In today's preview, it's the two big heads of MLS channels going at it. I'm excited, Hernan. Welcome, man. I'm excited to do this preview with you.
What's up, man? You know, it's always a pleasure to be here. It's not my first time here, and I love being here with you, bro.
This weekend, Austin FC against the Seattle Sounders. They face off at the Q2 Stadium. Let's first deep dive into the first three games because that's the sample size we're looking at for both of the teams. You know what? Austin have come out, for most people, an exciting bunch. For me, I'm not surprised. Hernan knows, people know. If you're following my Next Generation Football, my personal channel, I had the hype hat ready for Austin. So this doesn't come to a surprise for me. But Hernan, as an Austin fan, I mean, what were your thoughts of the first three games for you guys?
Yeah, man, real quick, going to what you said, just to verify 100%. We met outside Q2 Stadium. So you came down here to Austin and you gave us praise. I'll never forget that. That was actually a really dope night. But I mean, the first three games for Austin FC, what you're asking, man, I mean, let's just go with the first two right now, right? Because it was, I guess, you can say historic, scoring 10 goals in 2 games. That's the most any MLS team has ever scored. The goal differential right now that we have is +8. That's the most that any MLS team has had in the opening 3 games. I think the last team to do it was like Chicago Fire in '97. So that's something big for Austin FC. But then we move in a little bit into that third game because, the first game was Cincy. The second game was Miami, 2 very, very bad teams in this league. Let's be real, right? But whenever you get to those teams, you got to smack them. You got to give them 4. You got to give them 5 and move on to the next, right? But whenever we got to Portland, man, the team that made it to the Western Conference Finals last season, team that we also beat last season at the Q2 4-1, we embarrassed them at our home. So it's very tricky whenever we have to play Portland. The mood down here in Austin is like, hey, lift your heads up. It's just one loss, This is a very long campaign. It's a very long season, and we're not going to let it take us down. Portland is a tough team. They know what they got to do, but I think Austin FC is bound for big things this season, bro.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, a lot of people would say, oh, the first 2 wins for Austin's Mickey Mouse. They weren't against real teams. And I want to clarify that. And I'm not an Austin fan. I think that's gibberish because it doesn't matter who you're going up against. It's just simply the eye test. You look at it, you say, these guys played so well. It doesn't matter who they're playing against. I think anyone they would have played, they still would have lost if they played against that Austin that they did that day. And even the Portland game, there's a lot of positives out of that. I mean, I think Portland were lucky to come out of that game with 3 points. I think a draw would have been a more fair result for both the teams. They look good all 3 games. Even though they didn't get all 3 wins and they're not undefeated anymore, I think those are 3 positive results for Austin so far this season. But on the flip side, Seattle, a team that actually had a lot of praise from the general public, they haven't started off well. Most people would have said, Seattle are the favorites to win Supporter Shield. And again, not to toot my own horn, I said this was going to be a rough start for us this season. I thought this was going to be a rough season. On paper, yes, we look good. But, on paper doesn't always show the results and how you play on the field. But what were your thoughts on the Sounders' first 3 games?
Man, mind blown. Honestly, that's one word to say it. I guess I remember whenever I was told, my friend Bali, he told me, he was like, bro, Seattle lost their opening game. I was like, are you serious? Double check that. Seattle? What? Losing their opening game for the MLS season, is something unheard of. As soon as I heard that, I thought of you, bro. I was like, dude, next gen, man, he must be in the mud right now. He must be, devastated. But then Seattle turns around, and just completely slaps Leon 3-0 in the CCL. So, I mean, I want to know your thoughts, man. Like, what was going through your mind?
Yeah, it's been very up and down for the Sounders this season. I mean, you start off with the Motagua first leg game. I thought that one wasn't a great game, but you're still in the tie. Then you win 5-0 against Motagua, and you thought, okay, there might be a big spillover from that game into Nashville. But I would kind of digress a little bit from that because a lot of the goals we scored, yes, it's 5-0 on paper. It looks good. Looks like we dominated the game. A lot of the goals were kind of handed to us on a platter from Motagua. So it's not saying much. It's not like we actually worked for it. Take that with a grain of salt. So obviously we did, but getting what I'm trying to say, Nashville are a tough team. Yes. But we've already seen so far this season that they can lose games. They've already lost a game as well at home. So I mean, that game was a game that the Sounders at minimum needed a draw in. The fact that they lost, they put out the result that they did, it wasn't good. And yes, the Lyon game was amazing, but again, it paints over some cracks because that game should have ended 6-0. I know I'm sounding like a little kid throwing my toys, but we need to kill off teams. We need to just put him to the knife's edge with some of these results. And yeah, the Lyon game, the Motago game are good, but the MLS games, man, losing 2 out of 3 games, it's not good. It's not what you're hoping for from your team. It's not what you're expecting from your team. And to at least have won the game against the Galaxy, that was good. But again, the results kind of similarly to the Portland Austin game, that game could have easily been a draw for the LA Galaxy as well. We were pretty fortunate to come out of that game with 3 points, but that's just my take anyway.
I want to ask you actually about that LA Galaxy game because I saw some very interesting details in that match. Some details that Austin FC can expose whenever you guys come down here. I want to note that you guys got scored on very early. What is going to be Seattle's answer to Sebastian Drusi, to Maxi Urruti, Cecilio Dominguez, and Fagundes connecting at the Q2? Because I don't want to toot my own horn. I kind of want to toot Austin FC's fan base horn. But we have the longest active streak right now of sold out matches at the Q2. That's 20,000 fans that are going to be roaring behind Drusi, behind Ceci, behind Fagu. What is Seattle going to do, bro?
Do you want me, if I'm going to put it very simply, roll over and die? I don't know. This team, it is the same team as the team last year. Pretty much the core players from last year are pretty much there. Yeah, we've integrated some youngsters. Albert Rusnak was the big addition so far. Hasn't quite hit the ground running like we were expecting. I will say it will happen. We just have to be patient about it with him, but it depends. I mean, a possibility is Yeimar might not play in this game. Someone that plays for Colombia's national team might not feature in this game. He had a little bit of an ankle sprain in the Galaxy game. He should be fine though. He should be, but he's not traveling for Lyon to probably play a little bit more safe for Austin. We might have Nicholas Ladera. We'll see how that game goes against Lyon, and then Raul Ruiz as well. Those are 3 big players for us. I mean, less so Nico because he basically was out for the entirety of last season. We were fine. But Raul and Yeimar, arguably the best striker in MLS, the best center back in MLS, might not play. Going against the guy that I think is going to win the MVP award in Sebastian Drusi, I'm kind of scared about it. It's a scary proposition to think about, but I did say that same thing when that lineup came out the last time that the Austin and Sounders have faced. It ended 0-0 at Lumen Field. Probably Austin were pretty fortunate to come out of that game with a draw. The game at the Q2, I mean, I thought that seeing the lineup, I was like, okay, Sounders are going to roll over and die in this game with a bunch of kids. Then we roll out. Raul Ruiz smashes one from halfway. We win the game. We actually play pretty well in that match. Sounders have done the impossible at the Q2, so I can't discredit us enough on that one. What are you hoping for?
I have to agree with you there, bro. What am I hoping for? I'm hoping for a sold out crowd, which is definitely going to happen. I'm hoping for the guys to get together and say, hey, the Portland game, brush it off, man. We're at home. Who cares if we're playing Seattle? Doesn't matter. We got the fans here. We got the whole city out here. The stadium is going to be lit in green. Everybody is behind this team. And I hope they know that. I hope that's how they enter that game, because this is a different team than last year. You know this. I mean, me and you had that talk outside Q2 Stadium, and you told me, you were like, hey, man, Josh Wolf, everybody's going to say whatever they want to say about him. Claudio Reina, they know what they're doing, man. Trust this process. That's what you told me, right?
Yeah, I did.
And now, bro, we're kind of starting to see a little bit. Josh Wolf hasn't perfected everything that he was messing up on last year. Now, I'm not saying that the guy's a freaking Sir Alex Ferguson. Now, I'm saying that he's learned from some of his mistakes from last season. Some of his substitutions last game were questionable, but I think that the timing of them were right. Last season, they were either way too early and they just messed up the momentum, or just came way too late and there was no response from the team, right? So I'm hoping that Maxi is connecting with Drusi. I'm hoping that Cecilio Dominguez comes alive and shows everybody what he can be in this league. And I'm hoping that Brad Stuver has one of those games where he's like a cat saving everything. You know what I mean? He has like 8 or 9 or 10 hands. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for 3 points, man, because we need it right now. After last season, we need everything we can get, bro.
Yeah, I think the other flip of the coin for Austin fans in this game is, because like I said, and what most of MLS is saying, well, Austin's first 2 big wins, their statement wins, were against not real teams. Now you play Portland, you've lost, but people would say, well, see, there you go. That's the true Austin colors. But if you watch the game, like they played still really well at Providence Park. And so Portland are also a team that's trying to prove a point. They just lost MLS Cup at Providence Park. So they have a big point to prove this season. But now the Seattle game, if Austin loses this one, then you start maybe growing in, the, oh no, Austin can't beat the real teams in MLS. And that kind of starts growing into the players' heads and maybe from the media, this and that. So that's the importance behind it for Austin. They do have a big advantage because Sounders are playing midweek before this game. Unlike Austin, you get a full week's rest. There's a lot of this is playing in Austin's cards. They've been the better team. Seattle has a midweek game as well against Leon. Yes, they're up 3-0, but they're going to play. I think they're going to play a mixture of starters, some youngsters to give some players rest. Questions about injuries. I don't know. I don't know what to hope for. I want to say we need a win. We need one because we lost our first 2 games. Now we're playing catch up. A draw now, thinking about it, I take it, but I think we need a win. This is a place we've won at. It's a scary place now to look at, to play at, because the past 2 games at home, you put 5. And I'm worried about this defense. Now we're not playing 5 in the back anymore like we did the previous season. And defensively, we've been a bit fraudulent in MLS and CCL. We haven't conceded a goal, but this isn't CCL. I only can take so much out of our CCL run into this.
Not only that, man, I want everybody listening, and I know a lot of people are gonna tune in. I want you guys to know that Q2 is something special, man. Austin FC, the last 5 out of 6 matches at Q2 Stadium have been dubs. They have been wins. So at home, we're a good team. And Sebastian Drusi touched in on that in one of his interviews when he spoke to the press conference. He said that at home, they want to be better. They need to be better. You know what I'm saying? They need to be a different team. Dude, last season, bro, you know when was our last win on the road, brother? Our last win on the road for Austin FC was against Minnesota, week 3 of last season, bro. That's embarrassing, bro. That's embarrassing to say that that's your last win. Okay. So Sebastian Drusi said that at home, we need to be a better team. And we have been. 5 of the last 6 games, we've won them at home, scoring 14 goals and only conceding 4 in those. So that's something to definitely build on. And we need to be better on the road. So whenever we go see y'all over there, don't be surprised if you see WeAreAustinTV over there getting that dub.
What's your prediction? What's your score prediction for this game, though? We need to get to the nitty gritty. The people are wanting from us.
My score prediction, I see our offense connecting. I see them being in sync because a lot of things are building up to this game. And like you said, a lot of things are playing in our favor. So my final score prediction is 2-0 for Austin FC.
I'm gonna throw in a stat, even though it's not really like anything like, oh shit, but Austin are still yet to have scored a goal against the Seattle Sounders, but records are meant to be broken. This is not a record that's going to last after this game. Definitely Austin will be scoring. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. I think Austin will score early on in this game because Hernan hinted at it, just like with the LA Galaxy. I think they'll score early on. I think we might see Albert Rusnak get his first goal for the Sounders in this game or play a big part in that goal. And I think Sounders might play park the bus after that. I think they're like, we take it. We hopefully advance against Leon. We got the draw in this game. I'm going to go with that. But we have a forfeit on the line with We Are Austin TV and Rave Green TV. We have decided to whichever team wins, the other team's page has to post saying the other team is the best team in the world or the best team in MLS. So we're putting our necks on the line. I'm predicting a 1-1 draw, but I am still putting my neck on the line because that means we're going to have to post saying Austin's the best team in the world. That's
going to be fun. That's going to be a lot of fun. So Austin FC, I need y'all to come through. Please, I need that win at Q2 Stadium. We haven't scored against Seattle, but this season we're breaking records, so let's make it happen.
Yes, boys and girls. Yeah, make sure to smash the like button on today's video. Make sure to go check out We Are Austin TV on YouTube. I'm going to leave the link in the description for that. They're also available on Instagram and Twitter. I'll leave all the links down there. Smash the like button. If you're coming from We Are Austin TV, we appreciate you guys for coming on. If you want to subscribe to Rave Green TV, go for it, but at least just smash the like button. That helps both of us out so much. And then let us know in the comments down below, what is your score predictions? What are you guys hoping for? Who's going to be the man of the match? Who's going to be the difference maker? Let us know, because as much as our opinions matter, your guys' opinion matters just a lot more than ours. So let us know in the comments down below, and I hope you all have a lovely day.